time when she was shooting her free throws. This happened about a month and a half ago. Now, I know some of y'all might already know who I'm talking about. She was instrumental in the Fever making it throughout the postseason. Well, making it close to get to the postseason, I'll say that. That is Aari McDonald, bruh. Annie Constable just put out moments ago that Aari McDonald is...
This is exactly the scenario Indiana Fever supporters were hoping to avoid. Aari McDonald, the reserve guard who stepped up in a big way when Caitlin Clark battled injuries last season, is now sidelined with fractured bone in her right foot, an injury sustained during off-season competition. And as confirmed just hours ago by Courtney Williams, she won't be available when the WNBA season begins. This isn't a minor bump in the road. It's a major blow. The Fever are suddenly without their most reliable safety net at the most important spot on the floor.
A devastating blow to the Indiana Fever. It says, per Unrivaled PR, Aari McDonald ruled out the remainder of the season due to a right lower extremity injury. In August, McDonald was ruled out the remainder of the 2025 WNBA season after suffering a broken bone in her right foot. So it looked like to me, based on the information that has come out, Aari McDonald will not be playing the 2026.
What makes the situation so crushing is that McDonald was far more than a name at the end of the bench. When Caitlin Clark was sidelined last season, the Indiana Fever offense lost its rhythm until Aari McDonald stepped in and stabilized everything. She delivered double-digit scoring during pivotal stretches and, more importantly, brought a skill set the other reserve guards simply didn't have: the ability to manufacture her own offense when plays broke down. The contrast between McDonald and the guard they originally relied on, who eventually landed in Las Vegas Aces, couldn't have been clearer. One could organize the floor and attack under pressure. The other struggled to create when defenses tightened. Now, with training camp still a month away, Indiana is left facing a glaring void at one of the most important positions on the roster.
To me, this is a major blow. She was pretty much an instrumental piece in Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever success when Caitlin had went down. She is the first player, of my knowledge, that will not be playing for the 2026.
This is where the offseason debate starts to get messy. Aari McDonald wasn't just staying visible. She was fully involved in the offseason league, even hosting a podcast tied to it, keeping herself in game shape during what's normally recovery time. Then came the setback, a fractured bone in her right foot that effectively wipes out her season before it even begins. According to the official statement, the injury dates back to August, meaning she's already been out for months. And that leads to the uncomfortable question hovering in the background. If she had taken the traditional route of rest and rehab instead of playing competitive basketball year-round, would this situation have been avoided?
Indiana Fever basketball team, I don't believe they have released any information in regards to Aari McDonald being hurt. I don't think anybody reacted to it. This is brand new news. It just came out. This is just a crazy scenario, and I just really hate this for Aari McDonald. Let's keep her lifted up with good energy, good prayers, because it is going to be a road to recovery for her as we get ready.
Round competition is sustainable. Take a closer look at the timing here. The Indiana Fever still haven't issued an official statement. Scroll through their social feeds. The most recent update highlights Leo Boston putting up a double-double through 10 games in the Development League. There's no mention of losing a key rotation guard for the entire year. That absence speaks volumes. It suggests one of two things. Either the organization is still figuring out how to address this publicly, or there are serious internal discussions underway about how the injury happened and what it means moving forward. Because at this point, this situation extends beyond just Aari McDonald. It raises a much bigger issue, whether the economic realities pushing WNBA players into non-stop, year-round competition are truly sustainable in the long run.
Nope. So they haven't said anything yet. I'm on the Indiana Fever X account. They haven't said nothing about Aari McDonald. Last post was an hour ago. Said Leo Boston heating up with Team Phantom after 10 games. She's averaging a double-double and leading the league with 1.8 BPG. And yeah, man. Now Aari McDonald is doing a podcast for Unrivaled. I don't know, guys. This is just a very, very.
While Aari McDonald focuses on rehab, the bigger labor battle keeps dragging on. The collective bargaining talks between the players and the WNBA remain stuck on the very financial pressures that push athletes into nonstop competition. The union is asking for 30% of gross revenue. In response, the league's latest framework reportedly includes revenue sharing that would raise the supermax salary to about $1.3 million in 2026, eventually climbing to $2 million, a massive leap from today's roughly $250,000 ceiling. When you look at that gap, it's easy to understand why so many players choose to compete overseas or join off-season leagues to earn what they feel matches their value. But the league counters with its own hard numbers. According to its projections, the players' proposal would result in a $700 million loss over the life of the agreement, a figure ownership argues simply isn't sustainable.
This is going to come back to haunt them. Now they got to already get a backup point guard for Caitlin Clark for the 2026 season. I don't know who that could be. I know they had Shea Petty. There she go right there. Shea Petty, Odyssey Sims, Ariel Powers. Both of them was backups. Ariel Powers came whenever Aari McDonald went down. Just like I stated, this is just a devastating.
Now the Indiana Fever are on the clock, and this is a decision they can afford to drag out. Shea Petty is still on the market. Odyssey Sims brings veteran experience. Ariel Powers stepped in during that short stretch last season when injuries hit. But let's be real, none of them replicate what Aari McDonald provides. None offer that instant scoring spark off the bench or the ability to fully steady the offense when Caitlin Clark needs a breather, or worse, misses time again. If last season proved anything, it's this: a reliable backup point guard isn't a luxury. For Indiana, it's a thin line between a playoff run and an early offseason at home.
Told ESPN that the league projected the union's plan would result in $700 million loss over the course of the agreement, and that would jeopardize the league financial health. So I'm guessing, right, they want this money, but the money could hurt the league long term if they try to get this 30% revenue.
There's been some progress in the league's latest CBA proposal. The WNBA has reportedly put housing benefits on the table, and projections suggest average player compensation, factoring in revenue sharing, could climb to around $540,000 by 2026. That's meaningful growth compared to the current structure, but the core dispute hasn't moved much. The league's model still allocates what defines as under 15% of gross revenue to players, while the union is pushing for 30%. That's not a small difference you solve by upgrading travel perks or facilities. It's a philosophical divide over what fairness looks like and how to balance long-term sustainability with a league that's finally experiencing significant momentum and expansion.
First one to go down. Hopefully in, a crazy world, she could recover, come back maybe July. But as it's being reported, according to Annie Constable, she is out, bro. She is out. And this is going to, I feel like this is going to hurt the Fever. And if they don't get somebody to fill in for Aari McDonald, get that solid backup, somebody that come in and get buckets. See, the thing I liked about Aari McDonald is she can go out there and she can get her own buckets, bro. She was getting points because when Caitlin Clark first went down, they was lost at the point guard position. I forget her name. God, please forgive me, guys. She came from Las Vegas Aces. I just forget her name. It's on the tip of my tongue. But she could not go out and get her own buckets. Now, for whatever reason, they got Aari McDonald. She was getting buckets. And it is what it is, man. Get down in the comment section. Let me know y'all thoughts about this. Make sure you guys keep them bells on. I will be back with another video. And let me know how y'all like the short formatted videos. I like them, bro. It's quick, fast, right to the point. And definitely let me know. I'm currently out of the studio. Should be back in the studio at some point today. My son's still playing.
What isn't being said loudly enough is this: the Indiana Fever are now scrambling to replace a player who was critical to their late season surge. Aari McDonald wasn't a headline star, but she was the ideal backup guard. Steady, dependable, capable of running the offense for extended stretches, and poised under pressure. That kind of role player is far harder to replace than people think, especially with limited time and flexibility. And this could just be the beginning. McDonald is the first confirmed player out for 2026 due to injury, but she won't be the last. With athletes spread across overseas leagues, off-season competitions, training camps, and exhibitions, the wear and tear is nonstop. The uncomfortable reality is that the league's financial structure leaves many players choosing between rest and income. Yes, injuries happen. A broken foot can occur in any game, but context matters. McDonald was competing year-round because, outside the top salary tier, players often have to. Staying active means staying relevant. It means earning. And now Indiana is left with a void they may struggle to fill. Look at the alternatives. Sheet Petty, Odyssey Sims, Aerial Powers. Proven veterans. Capable contributors. But none truly replicate what McDonald provided. She could give you 15 points off the bench without needing everything created for her. She could break pressure, manage tempo, and log 25 steady minutes without the offense collapsing when Caitlin Clark sat down. And that's critical right now. Clark is still on her rookie deal. This is the Fever's window to build. The roster finally feels cohesive. Momentum was forming. Losing McDonald for the entire 2026 campaign because of an August offseason injury is the kind of disruption that can stall progress overnight if collective bargaining talks between the players and the WNBA don't find resolution soon. Expect more of this. More overuse injuries, more teams adjusting on the fly, more key contributors unavailable before opening night. The margin in this league is razor thin. The difference between hosting a playoff game and watching from home can come down to one dependable reserve guard. Indiana has to act quickly through free agency, trade, or internal development before the market tightens. And even then, they may be hoping for 70% of what McDonald delivered. For now, she faces months of rehab, working to regain the explosiveness and quickness that made her so valuable. Broken bones heal, but foot injuries require patience. Meanwhile, the Fever moved forward without their most reliable insurance policy, the first franchise to feel the consequences of a system that pushes its players to compete year-round just to keep pace financially. That's the reality the league is confronting.